Hi, I'm Christy Conway with Charleston Home and Design Magazine, and I'm here in this amazing Ion home with David Ebeling of CookBonner Construction. David, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, so this home is obviously unique. Can you tell us a little bit about why it is?
Well, the architecture, for one, it's what they call a Gothic-style house, and obviously there are not that many in the Charleston area, let alone in the Ion area.
And what makes it Gothic construction-wise?
The arches on the inside as well as the out, the parapet walls, the brick facade on the outside, just the appearance in general.
And for those who don't happen to know what a parapet wall is, can you explain what that would be?
It is an exterior wall typically that extends beyond the roof line, the ridge or peak of a roof.
Is that typical with the Gothic style?
Yes.
Okay. And what you mentioned the arches. When I think arch, I think of a typical curved arch. Can you explain how this arch is a little bit different? Because it's repeated throughout the house.
Correct. So there are two different arches. There are the arches inside of the house that create a barrel effect, and then there are the arches on the outside of the house which look like clovers, and those make up the exterior walls. Whereas the arches that create the barrel effect are mainly on the inside, cased opening and door tops.
Now you mentioned that this home is unique in the Ion area. Would you say that's because of the Gothic style or the size or what specifically?
Probably a little bit of both, but mainly because of the Gothic style. The size, it's probably bigger than most of the houses that you'll see in the Ion. However, there are some comparable houses in size, but I think this is unique in the Gothic aspect.
Now it's what, 6,500 square feet, is that right? 6,700 square feet?
67.
Does CookBonner normally do homes of that size? Build homes of that size?
We have. It's not a rarity, but most of our houses are a little bit smaller. However, we have done some bigger.
Now, would you say that CookBonner is a builder for Ion specifically, or would you say that you build all over the Charleston area?
We build all over the Charleston area. We're not exclusive to any one subdivision or island. We do a lot of work on Daniel Island, surrounding barrier islands, and the peninsula.
Okay, and how long has CookBonner been around as a builder in the area?
Since 1976. George Cook founded the company. Rick Bonner came along in the early 90s, and now they co-op. They're both owners.
Okay. And I assume they were intricately involved, I think that's a word, in the building process of this home, right?
Yes. So George typically oversees estimating, contractual agreements, and Rick oversees field production. I'm a project manager, so I was the go-to contact on this particular project.
Obviously, with a home of this size, there are a lot of challenges. What specifically kind of posed problems for you in the construction of this home?
Probably the detailing in the house was most challenging, in coordinating subcontractors and the way each detail lined up, how crown molds intersected on roof lines that weren't flat. They were arched ceilings and curved ceilings, and so the exterior posed some of those same challenges in the detailing. That was probably the biggest challenge on this project.
Now, when I was speaking with Rick Bonner, he mentioned something about the office upstairs. What I found so interesting was how every detail was reflected in the cabinetry. So it almost was like the roof line was connected with the cabinetry, and obviously that means an intersection of subcontractors working together. Were you involved in that kind of communication between them?
Yes, and we have to be as field superintendents in order to make sure that the finished product is what you're looking for, and that spring lines are where they should be, and that beams line up like they ought to, and that one subcontractor, for instance, the cabinet subcontractor, making an arch that maybe mimics an arch that the interior trim guy developed need to be the same. The radiuses need to be the same. They need to be proportional, and so on.
And that's actually your job, right, as the project manager, is to kind of be the go-between?
Correct.
And what else would you say that you do as a project manager for CookBonner?
Well, the most obvious, scheduling, invoicing, making sure that estimates are within budget and within reason, making sure the subcontractors show up like they're supposed to and know and understand their scope of work and understand their schedule.
So would you call yourself kind of an advocate for the homeowner?
A liaison between homeowner, architect, and subcontractors.
What else about this home is unique that you'd like to mention? Obviously, homeowners are going to be able to see a lot within the photography, but kind of a personal kind of connection to this home. Do you have anything else that you think they should know?
Well, the clients were as good as they come, so it made this project really fun. The fact that it's unique in design made it fun and challenging usually is fun. Sometimes challenging is not fun. The house takes up most of the lot, and so, the available space that we had on the lot while we were working was really tight, and that posed some challenge along the way too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to please the homeowners, but you can't impede on the neighbors, and there's so many different aspects I would imagine that you have to deal with to protect the integrity of the project.
Correct. So on the back side of this house, we are closest to the neighbor, and we're 3.5 feet off of the property line. And in order to install brick on a house, it's very hard to set up scaffold when you only have 3 feet to do it.
And just so I know, because I'm not quite sure, is brick a commonly used product in a Gothic-style home?
We don't specialize in Gothic-style houses, but yes, typically when you call something Gothic in nature, you associate that with brick of some sort.
Well, I think it's a fabulous design and execution. It's just so unique. You don't see that, like you were saying in the beginning of this interview. You just don't see it in the Low Country. It's usually we get pigeonholed in this certain style, and I just love walking in homes where you're seeing something a little bit different.
That makes two of us.
Now, if someone were to want to contact you guys because of your ability to do special kind of construction, what's your phone number and what is your website address?
www.cookbonner.com, and our phone number 795-9301.
Fabulous. Well, we've been speaking with David of CookBonner Construction. Thank you so much, David.